Namaskar, I am Parsuram Shukla, Training Associate Economics, KVS, JIT Bhubaneswar. Welcome to my economics class. Today I am with you all with my fourth video lessons from Unit 2, Class 12 Macroeconomics. The unit is Money and Banking. Already I have discussed 3 video lessons from this unit. If you have missed my video lessons, the links to all the video lessons are given in the description box given below. You can watch all the videos for your clarification. So today I will be discussing chapter 4 of this unit, Money and Banking, functions of a commercial bank and money creation or credit creation by commercial bank. So the content to be discussed in this video lesson: introduction of a commercial bank, functions of a commercial bank, money creation or credit creation by commercial bank. The learning objectives: at the end of this video lesson, you will be able to state the meaning of commercial bank, explain various functions of a commercial bank, state the process of money creation by the commercial bank. Commercial bank is a primary unit of the Indian banking system. Like other businesses, commercial banks also aim to earn profits, and for this, they offer a variety of services to their customers. Commercial bank is an institution which performs the functions of accepting deposits, granting loans, and making investments with the aim of earning profits. State Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, Allahabad Bank, Canara Bank are some examples of commercial banks in our country. Commercial banks, backbone of an economy. How it is? It can be very well assumed that the household sector saves a part of its income which is made available to the productive sector for further investment. Commercial banks act as a financial intermediaries whose main function is to collect savings from the household sector and lend it to the productive sector. The rate of interest at which commercial banks accept deposits is known as borrowing rate, and the rate at which banks lend out their reserves to investors is called the lending rate. The difference between this borrowing rate and lending rate, known as spread, is the profit earned by the banks. Functions of a commercial bank. The functions performed by commercial banks can be broadly categorized under 2 heads: primary functions and secondary functions. Primary functions. Commercial banks perform 2 primary functions: accepting deposits and advancing of loans. Accepting deposits. It is the most important function of commercial banks. They accept deposits in several forms according to requirements of different sections of the society. The main kinds of deposits are current account deposits or demand deposits, fixed deposits or time deposits, saving deposits. Current account deposits or demand deposits. These deposits refer to those deposits which are repayable by the banks on demand. Such deposits are generally maintained by businessmen with the intention of making transactions with such deposits. They can be drawn upon by a check without any restriction. Banks do not pay any interest on these accounts. Rather, banks impose service charges for running these accounts. Demand deposits versus fixed deposits. Basis, check facility, interest payments, number of transactions. So, demand deposits on the basis of check facility, they are checkable deposits. Fixed deposits, they are non-checkable deposits. Interest payments, demand deposits, they do not carry any interest. Fixed deposits are term deposits. They carry interest which varies directly with the period of time. Number of transactions. In demand deposits, the depositors can make any number of transactions for deposit or withdrawal of money. In case of fixed deposits, depositors generally makes only 2 transactions: deposit of money in the beginning, withdrawal of money on maturity. Saving deposits. These deposits combine features of both current account deposits and fixed deposits. The depositors are given check facility to withdraw money from their account. But some restrictions are imposed on number and amount of withdrawals in order to discourage frequent use of saving deposits. They carry a rate of interest which is less than interest rate on fixed deposits. It must be noted that current account deposits and saving deposits are checkable deposits, whereas fixed deposits is a non-checkable deposit. Advancing of loans. This is the second primary functions of the commercial bank. The deposits received by banks are not allowed to remain idle. So after keeping reserves, the balance is given to needy borrowers and interest is charged from them, which is the main source of income for these banks. Different types of loans and advances made by banks are cash credit, demand loans and short-term loans. Let us discuss one by one. Cash credit refers to a loan given to the borrower against his current stocks or bonds, etc. A credit limit is sanctioned and the amount is credited in his account. The borrower may withdraw any amount within his credit limit and interest is charged on amount actually withdrawn. Demand loans refer to those loans which can be recalled on demand by the bank at any time. The entire sum of demand loan is credited to the account and interest is payable on the entire sum. Short-term loans, they are given as personal loans against some collateral security. The money is credited to the account of the borrower and the borrower can withdraw money from his account and interest is payable on the entire sum of loan granted. Conditions for a financial institution to become a bank. The main function of commercial bank is to accept deposits and advance loans. A financial institution can be a banking institution only when it performs both the functions of accepting deposits and advancing loans. For example, LIC is not a bank as it does not accept checkable deposits from the public, although it performs the functions of lending money. Therefore, we can say all the financial institutions are not banks, but all the banks are financial institutions. The secondary functions. Commercial banks also performs the following secondary functions: overdraft facility, discounting bills of exchange, agency functions. Under these agency functions, we have transfer of funds, collection and payment of various items, purchase and sale of foreign exchange, purchase and sale of securities, income tax consultancy, trustee and executor, letters of reference. The fourth secondary functions here: general utility functions, locker facility, traveler's checks, letter of credit, underwriting securities, collection of statistics. So let us discuss one by one. It refers to, that is the overdraft facility. It refers to a facility in which a customer is allowed to overdraw his current account up to an agreed limit. This facility is generally given to respectable and reliable customers for a short period. Customers have to pay interest to the bank on the amount overdrawn by them. Discounting bills of exchange. It refers to a facility in which holder of a bill of exchange can get the bill discounted with bank before the maturity. After deducting the commission, bank pays the balance to the holder. On maturity, bank gets its payment from the party which had accepted the bill. Agency functions. Transfer of funds is one of the agency functions. Banks provide the facility of economical and easy remittance of funds from place to place with the help of instruments like demand drafts, mail transfers, etc. Collection and payment of various items. Commercial banks collect checks, bills, interest, dividends, subscriptions, rents and other periodical receipts on behalf of their customers and also make payments of taxes, insurance premium, etc. on standing instructions of their clients. Purchase and sale of foreign exchange. Some commercial banks are authorized by the central bank to deal in foreign exchange. They buy and sell foreign exchange on behalf of their customers and help in promoting international trade. Purchase and sale of securities. Commercial banks buy and sell stocks and shares of private companies as well as government securities on behalf of their customers. Income tax consultancy. They also give advice to their customers on matters relating to income tax and even prepare their income tax returns. Trustee and executor. Commercial banks preserve the wills of their customers as trustees and execute them after their death as executors. Letters of reference. They give information about the economic position of their customers to traders and provide the similar information about other traders to their customers. General utility functions. Commercial banks render some general utility services like locker facility. Commercial banks provide facility of safety vaults or locker to keep valuable articles of customers in safe custody. Travelers checks. Commercial banks issue travelers checks to their customers to avoid risk of taking cash during their journey. Letter of credit. They also issue letters of credit to their customers to certify their creditworthiness. General utility functions. Some other general utility functions. Underwriting securities. Commercial banks also undertake the task of underwriting securities. As public has full faith in the creditworthiness of banks, public do not hesitate in buying the securities underwritten by banks. Collection of statistics. Banks collect and publish statistics relating to trade, commerce and industry. Hence, they advise customers on financial matters. Commercial banks receive deposits from the public and use these deposits to give loans. However, loans offered are many times more than the deposits received by banks. This function of banks is known as money creation. Later on, we will discuss about this money creation. Money creation or credit creation, it is one of the most important activities of commercial banks. Through the process of money creation, commercial banks are able to create credit which is in far excess of the initial or primary deposits. This process can be better understood by making two assumptions. The entire commercial banking system is one unit and is termed as banks. All receipts and payments in the economy are routed through the banks. That is, all payments are made through checks and all receipts are deposited in the banks. So these are the two assumptions on the basis of which money creation or credit creation by the commercial banks have to be understood. The deposits held by banks are used for giving loans. However, banks cannot use the whole of deposits for lending. It is legally compulsory for the banks to keep a certain minimum fraction of their deposits as reserves. The fraction is called the legal reserve ratio, that is LRR, or reserve deposit ratio or reserve ratio, that is RR, and is fixed by the central bank. Banks do not keep 100% reserves against the deposits. They keep reserves only to the extent indicated by the central bank. Why only fraction of deposits are kept as reserves? That has to be understood. Banks keep a fraction of deposits as cash reserves because a prudent banker, by his experience, knows two things. That number one, all the depositors do not approach the banks for withdrawal of money at the same time, and also they do not withdraw the entire amount in one go. There is a constant flow of new deposits into the banks. So to meet the daily demand for withdrawal of cash, it is sufficient for banks to keep only a fraction of deposits as cash reserve. It means if experience of the banks show that withdrawals are generally around 20% of the deposits, then it needs to keep only 20% of deposits as cash reserves, that is LRR, legal reserve ratio. Process of money creation through an example. Let us understand it. Suppose initial or primary deposit in banks is rupees 1000 and LRR is 20%. It means banks are required to keep only 200 as cash reserve and are free to lend rupees 800. Suppose they lend 800. Banks do not lend this money by giving amount in cash. Rather, they open the accounts in the names of borrowers who are free to withdraw the amount whenever they like. Suppose borrowers withdraw the entire amount of rupees 800 for making payments. As all the transactions are routed through the banks, the money spent by the borrowers comes back into the banks in the form of deposit accounts of those who have received this payment. It will increase the demand deposits of banks by rupees 800. With new deposits of rupees 800, banks keep 20% as cash reserves and lend the balance rupees 640. Borrowers use these loans for making payments, which again comes back into the accounts of those who have received the payments. This time banks deposits rise by rupees 640. The deposits keep on increasing in each round by 80% of the last round deposits. At the same time, cash reserves also go on increasing each time by 80% of the last cash reserves. Deposit creation comes to end when total cash reserves become equal to the initial deposit. So let us see this table to understand this process of credit creation. Refer the following table. Initial deposit is 1000 as in our example. Loan granted 800. And cash reserves, that is LRR 200 because it is 20%. Round 1 800 is the deposit. Loan sanction is 640 because 20% is the LRR. So the cash reserve is 160. Round 2, this 640 becomes the deposits. Then 20%, that is 128. So it is loan is 512. So like this, this process continues, and if you add all the deposits from round 1 till the last point, then the deposits, total deposits is 5,000 and total loan will be 4,000 and the cash reserves is 1,000. As seen in the table, banks are able to create total deposits of rupees 5,000 with the initial deposit of just rupees 1,000. It means total deposits become 5 times of the initial deposit. 5 times is nothing but the value of money multiplier. Money multiplier or credit multiplier or deposit multiplier. Let us understand it clearly. Money multiplier is the number by which total deposits can increase due to a given change in deposits. It is inversely related to legal reserve ratio. It is calculated as money multiplier or credit multiplier, that is 1 by LRR. In the given example, LRR is 20% or 0.2. So money multiplier is 1 by 0.2, that is equal to 5. It signifies that for every unit of money kept as reserves, banks are able to create 5 units of money. The value of money multiplier is determined by LRR, that is legal reserve ratio. Higher the value of LRR, lower is the value of multiplier, and less money is created by the banking system. Let us see this MCQs, multiple choice questions, on the basis of the lesson we have discussed so far. So you can see this multiple choice questions and check your understanding. Name the institution which performs the functions of accepting deposits, granting loans and making investments with the aim of earning profits. So these are the options. Number 2, this bank operates in public interest without any profit motive. Just you check your memory, whatever you have understood. Through the process of DES, commercial banks are able to create credit which is in far excess of the initial deposits. These are the options. Banks create credit. So these are the options. Number 5, DES refers to those deposits in which amount are deposited with bank for a fixed period of time. So these are the options. Which of these conditions is needed for a financial institution to become a bank? These are the options. Then number 7, demand deposits include dash, saving account deposits and fixed deposits, saving account deposits and current account deposits and fixed deposits, all types of deposits. Then question number 8, credit creation by commercial bank is determined by dash. So these are the options. If the total deposits created by commercial banks are rupees 10,000 crores and legal reserve requirements are 40%, then amount of initial deposits will be dash. So you can choose from the option. What is the value of money multiplier when initial deposits are 500 crore and LRR is 10%? Which institutions perform the activity of credit creation? So these are the options. DES refers to that portion of total deposits of a commercial bank which it has to keep with itself in the form of liquid assets. So these are the options. Credit multiplier is equal to what? So from this you have to choose the answer. Deposit creation by banks comes to an end when? So you choose from these options. If legal reserve ratio is 20%, the value of money multiplier would be dash. From this you have to choose the correct option. So let us check your answer which you have noted in your notebook. This is the answer. Option given in red ink is the answer here. Name the institution. So question number 1, the answer is commercial bank. Then question number 2, the bank, this bank operates in public interest without any profit motive. So that is the Reserve Bank of India. Through the process of DES, now money creation and credit creation, commercial banks are able to create. So both these options are the correct answer here. Banks create credit on the basis of deposits. DES refers to, so time deposits refer to those deposits in which amounts are deposited with banks for a fixed period of time. Which of these conditions is needed for a financial institution to become a bank? Both A and B, accepting deposits and advancing loans, are the conditions needed for a financial institution to become a bank. So demand deposits include this saving account deposits and current account deposits. Then credit creation by commercial banks is determined by all these CRR, SLR and initial deposits. If the total deposits is created by commercial bank is 10,000 crore and the legal reserve requirement is 40%, then the amount of initial deposit will be 4,000 crore. What is the value of money multiplier when the initial deposit are 500 crore and LRR is 10%? So the money multiplier will be 10. Which institutions perform the activity of credit creation? The commercial bank. This refers to that portion of the total deposits. Now SLR, that is statutory liquidity ratio, refers to that portion of the total deposits of a commercial bank which it has to keep with itself in the form of liquid assets. Credit multiplier is equal to 1 by LRR, legal reserve ratio. Deposit creation by banks comes to an end when total cash reserves become equal to initial deposits. If legal reserve ratio is 20% and the value of money multiplier would be 5. So you might have verified your understanding after seeing the answers. So the assignments for all of you. Why are LIC and UTI not termed as banks? What are the time deposits in banks? What is meant by legal reserve requirements? What is meant by cash reserve ratio? What is meant by statutory liquidity ratio? Explain money creation function of commercial banks. Explain the components of legal reserve ratio. Explain the process of money creation by the commercial banks with the help of a numerical example. So I have, as usual, I have always marked 1 mark, 3 marks, 4 marks and 6 marks question. These are the pattern of questions asked in the board examination. So see you all in my next video on central bank. Please give your feedback to my mail ID parsuram.shukla@gmail.com and my WhatsApp number is 9938649454. I hope you are benefited by these educational videos. So kindly like, share and subscribe so that next videos reach you immediately. Thank you very much for watching my video. See you in my next video. Thank you.